Alright, let's get back to work on this thing a little bit. So the RX7 is getting pretty close. I need to finish up the trans mount because I never finished that. Drive shaft, brake lines, a little bit of wiring just for like the headlight, tail light, stuff like that. I got some 5-lug front hubs for it so we can get the matching wheels. But instead of doing any of that, we're gonna rip all the engine wiring and the ECU and everything out. Because I just could not resist any longer, I got a Terminator X for it. To working on that donk and getting that all wired up and actually getting my hands on one of these Terminator X kits, I had to pull the trigger. And then this one will be even easier than that because it's not drive-by-wire, it's all drive-by-cable. So it's like engine harness, battery harness, injector harness, oxygen sensors, ooh, little Terminator X sticker, and then the actual ECU right there. So there are dozens, if not billions of videos installing a Terminator X, so this isn't going to be like a super detailed how-to video, just because I kind of hate doing those. Holley themselves have some pretty good videos on installing these and going over everything. But I mean, if you can install like a basic LS swap harness, it's the same thing, just instead of the stock ECU, you're plugging it into that. It's pretty foolproof, I would say. Everything's nice and labeled, you can't really confuse anything. And then the Terminator X does have 4 inputs and 4 outputs, so that's nice. You can actually use this to set up some sort of 2-step, which is extremely nice. I need to still get a 2-step for that fat pig over there. Anyway, I think we are pretty much at the point of starting to gut all of this. So, gonna start ripping everything out of here and throw the new shit in. I wish I could take credit for coming up with that leather belt ECU mount idea, but I definitely robbed that from someone. It works fucking great though. This all came out in like 2 minutes, if that. Just had to unbolt the fuse box, unbolt the ground, and then the ignition power. I was smart enough to put that on a spade connector because I had a feeling that, you know, things might have to come out at some point. So now I just have to spend like a half an hour feeding everything back through the firewall, which is a bummer, just because it's kind of a fight to get some of those through there, but you know. Plan was to just put a conventional Gen 1 small block in it, but now that I've got this spare harness and I do have a spare LS, the only thing I'd need is a little bit of fuel system, the adapter to go to the Turbo 350, and some exhaust. Aside from that, I'd pretty much have everything. And then as far as the exhaust goes, Speed Engineering makes some really good cheap headers for G bodies and F bodies and a bunch of different shit. But the good thing about this is the way these connectors are, I can just feed this little bit through the firewall here. Everything else can stay out in the engine bay. The problem with the factory style harnesses is the plugs are huge. So you have to feed all this shit through first and then leave the ECU connectors in the car if you want to put the ECU in the car. But with this will be so much easier. I think the bulkiest thing is probably this relay. And then I think I'll wait until I get the harness all laid out and everything to figure out where I want the ECU. I know that I want it in the car just because this is a pretty compact engine bay and the firewall right here is real close to my dump pipe, so I don't want to put it there. So it's going to end up in the car, probably on this side of the firewall. I might be able to just use the mounting bolts that I got the this belt on. Actually, I could probably just use the belt again still, honestly. Oh yeah, I totally could. I don't know if I will, but I might. Firewall here has this like backing on it, like this insulation, and then the belt, obviously it all allows for a little bit of like shake and movement, vibration kind of dampening, so it's not solid mounted.
It looks kind of bunk, but to be honest, it works really well. And with it being hidden behind the carpet on the firewall under the dash, nobody's gonna see it, so I might still use that. I'm probably still gonna use it, to be honest, because it'll fit perfect on this and it'll hold it in. So I just talked myself into it. So let's start getting the harness on the engine.
Alright, got everything wired up except the alternator. Not really sure why Holley doesn't have like a alternator harness included in this. Seems kind of stupid to me. It'd be so easy to do. I know that some alternators you have to have like a little like resistor there, like a light bulb or something. I don't know. It just seems real stupid to me. But everything is installed in here. I've got the wires to the battery running under there. Do have the ECU mounted up under the dash instead of to the firewall this time. This little screen I might put right there. Not really sure. I was debating on putting it up here. That way I can use some of them as kind of like a gauge, but I think right there will be just as easy and it'll keep the gauge panel all clean looking. But I don't know. I think I might just put it right here. It'll still be pretty clean. It'll still be pretty easy to see. Easy to reach too. And then I've just got the ignition and the fan switch right there. So that was all actually super quick, super simple. Let's see, it took me about an hour and a half maybe, and a lot of that time was me screwing around. I did end up finding an actual grommet, which I knew I had one laying around, I just couldn't find it, so we're good there. It actually looks pretty decent now. So we're back to where we were this morning. Car's wired up, just waiting on a few things before it can run. I've got a buddy with a throttle body, so that's why I haven't just bought the idle air control valve and stuff, because he said he has one. It's just been trying to link up so we can exchange some parts. But aside from that, we're throttle body, wire up the alternator, fuel pump. I don't know if I'm gonna have the Holley control that just yet or not. And I think that might be it. Just throttle body, alternator, and load in the bass tune, and we'll be pretty close. So instead of putting this off for a few more days while I wait on some other parts, I think that's gonna do it for today's video so I can get something out there, because it's been, I don't know, pretty close to a week since I posted. Sorry about that. Life just gets in the way sometimes. So that is gonna do it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. We'll see you next time.